All right. With this short video, we just wanted to make a quick little tutorial how to access the LeadStar Powered by EnrollHere platform and how the most basic functions look like. So you come to this website, you would put in your email address, you hit continue, you will get an email now. You will need to confirm that email. You'd basically just click on the sign in link. It will open up your browser again and then you're signed in. So you don't have to remember any passwords. All you need is your email and access to your email. Then you put in some personal information, your first name, your last name, your NPN, your phone number, and you will select the team you're in. Or if you're getting onboarded through a custom onboarding link, that will already be pre-filled here. We hit next. Now you can basically claim your personal phone number that is just for LeadStar. So you put in what is the state you're coming from. You can either put in a prefix or just the state in general. You would search the number. You would choose one of the numbers that pop up. We'll purchase that number just for you. So you hit claim. And now you see how this is your personal phone number. You now have multiple options what you can do with that personal phone number. Because that number will be a number you will give out to your clients if they want to call you back. Because we will always connect you when someone calls back to your personal phone number. That call will just go to you and we will always make sure to connect you with that client calling in again. But now you basically have the options to what should happen if you're not reachable on LeadStar right now when someone's calling in. You can either set up a voicemail. So you would hit here what should happen and you would select voicemail and you can put in a custom voicemail text and then you can listen to those voicemails and call the customer back. Or you can say, I want to transfer to a number and you can put in your personal phone number here. So when the client calls back and you're not online on LeadStar and you can't take the call, your personal cell phone would ring and the call would be sent through LeadStar to your personal phone. And it would be recorded, which is really cool because the call is recorded and you can actually take the call while you're not on your computer right now. So you would set that up. Now you would come in, you would put in, if you have any live states, you would put in your live states. If you have any Medicare health states, you would put them in here. Let's make some sample states in here. So you will then just get calls for either live, Medicare, ACA, just where you're licensed, obviously. You would hit next, where you now go to the queue selection, which basically means with calls from which campaigns do you want to receive? Now, in this example, we just want to have Medicare calls. So we would just hit the Medicare filter. We could now also just say Medicare raw calls, or we want to just have ACA raw calls or whatever. You can basically filter it. Now you see how many options you have for different campaigns running. For Medicare inbound, you see some Medicare Spanish calls. Yeah, you could also filter for English and Spanish here, or you see the Medicare transfers down here. We suggest you choosing somewhere between 4 and 5 different campaigns just to keep the lead flow going. Usual wait times on the platform should be, depending on how many queues you pick and how specialized they are, definitely less than a minute. So if you have 5 queues, your wait time should be really, really low, especially in Medicare. You always see the price here for those calls. You would hit join queue. You will see some notes here too, so you could actually go through those calls, through those queues, and then through those notes to see what suits you best. We have a link here for the marketing material. You could hit that and it will bring you to a folder where you actually see the marketing material. And if you want to, you would join the queue. You can obviously join multiple ones if you want to. Now you need to top up your account. You basically choose out of those presets or you put in a custom amount that you want to add. You hit the add funds button. You would come in here. You put in your credit card. You hit pay and you always see up here how now you have personal balance. And same as you know it before, you have personal balance, but there could also be team funding that comes in that helps you subsidize cost from the LeadStar team. But you will always need some personal balance in there, even if you have a lot of team wallet funding, you will always need personal balance. Now here, you basically just choose, hey, do you also want to receive field appointments through the LeadStar platform? Or do you just want to take calls? Now, let's set up the field appointments. You would toggle here. You basically have to preset where your availability is 9 to 5 from Monday till Friday. You can obviously change that, remove Tuesdays, remove Thursdays, just do Monday from 9 to lunch or whatever you want to. You can also sync your calendar. When you hit it, it will take you through a quick process, which will sync your calendar so that stays up to date. You can also edit exclusions. So let's say next week, Friday, the 8th till the Monday the 11th, I'm not available from 9 till 12. So I'm excluding certain time frames that no appointments get booked. You can set some buffer times that you want to have between appointments, so you always have time to get to the next appointment or have a break between the appointments. And you can set how many appointments do you want to have set a week for you, which kind of limits the total appointments we will have come in. You'll put in some zip codes where you want to have the appointment. So just type in the zip code, press enter for each zip code, and put in however much you want to, and you should be good. Now hit next, and you're actually almost done with the setup. Now, the next step here is tell us a little more about yourself, because we want to make sure that we understand your background, your interests, where you're coming from, to actually help you connect with clients that might have the similar background to you, that you can have more meaningful conversations and build stronger connections with your potential clients. Because we see that if we connect you with certain customers, that they will stick more likely if certain metrics match up. So just go through this, like tell us where you currently live, where you grew up, when your birth date is, what languages do you speak, if you're a veteran or you have family members that are veterans. And then we actually create a profile for you of customers that we connect with you. Now you're really all set, and all you have to do is set your status, where we have offline available, follow-up, paused, and this little icon here, which I will walk you through later. Now, to receive inbound calls, you'll always just hit available here. Before you hit available, just want to point out here, this little headset icon here will bring you to your headset settings, where you could make things louder or change the microphone input. If you want to dive in there, you obviously can. This is the dial pad. If you want to do an outbound call, you can always hit the dial pad and just put in a number. But we want to now receive inbound calls from the specific queues, if you remember in our onboarding where we joined. So we now want to be ready and take those calls that come into us. So I will press available. We'll wait a little and calls will come in. You will hear a sound that comes up. Here you always see what queue you're connected to. So now you see we're connected to the MA Digital Inbound queue. You will see when it's a final expense one, you would see final expense there. So you always know what people are calling in for. Now you see the script pop up here. You can obviously fill in lead information here. Whatever you want to. If you put in the date of birth, we will always show you how old the customer is. You can schedule a callback here, which can be really, really important for you. So we will remind you whenever that callback should be, so you don't have to, and hopefully you close the client. Now, whenever you're done with the call, you hit leave call, or if the customer hangs up, it will always bring you to this follow-up screen here, where you still can schedule a callback. You can immediately call back that lead, which, for example, if the call drops for whatever reason, you just hit that button, and with your personal phone number, that's always here, so you always have it up there, so you can always give it out to the client too. You can always hit that button and it will dial the lead you've just been on the phone with this personal phone number. Now we want to disposition and just hit save and go back available, because we want to get more calls. Now we're back to the main dashboard here, and obviously now, just for the purpose of this tutorial, no more calls will come in. But I want to show you the analytics. See here in the dashboard, your total hours logged in, your total talk time, your wait time, your pause time, and your wrap-up time. You also see how many calls were incoming, how many were connected, how many of them were billable, how many sales you've made based on the dispositions, and what's your overall cost per sale. Because we are scoring every single successful call you've made on compliance. We do that in Medicare, ACA, and final expense, where obviously Medicare is the most important one when it comes to compliance. You can see here how we are scoring on 9 main metrics here, where in the background, the model is actually scoring on 28 different metrics that is aligning with CMS and the carriers, how they would score calls when it comes to compliance, which just should give you some guidance on, are you doing everything compliantly? Where should you improve? If there are certain categories you would want to improve or your scores don't look too good, we have an academy here you can always go to and actually get some insights how to do a proper scope of appointment, how to do a good call opening, and how to do a good call closing, for example. Then you can always go here on the left side to agent performance, where you will always see Now we just have today selected. You see exactly what you saw on the dashboard, but you can also see how am I doing this month? How are my numbers looking? You can always go to call logs where you will see all the calls you've taken, how long they were, if they were billable, who the leads were you've been talking to, where they were coming from. You can always press the details button here, which will immediately give you all the lead information. It will give you who was hanging up the call if you want to look into that again. You can even look up the transcript when it's been a successful call, read through it. You see your compliance summary and you see the payments that were associated with that call. If there was multiple sources of funding, so let that be your team helped you with that call, funded you with that call, you will see that here too, and how much you've spent and how much your team spent for that call. And that's already clear, but up here you always see what your total balance is right now. And clicking it, you will always be able to top up more funds, which we encourage you to do, because the closer you get to zero, the longer it will take for the system to process. Just because the closer you get to zero, the more the system needs to make sure that not a call is coming in that you can't afford right now, because obviously some calls cost more and some are less. We just encourage you always try to keep your balance up to a healthy number. Now, you can also hit the compliance section here, which you will now get all the insights about compliance over the last 7, 30, 90 days, whatever, over all your calls. You can see how you're performing on each individual calls. You can actually see how that's going, if you're improving and all of that. You can also go here in the appointment section. Obviously, you will only get appointments if you set that up in the beginning, then you will get appointments in here. We will notify you when there are new appointments in the system. But then you can go in here and edit the appointment. You can, if you talk to the client that you're later or you want to reschedule it, you can come in here, do that. Obviously, you update it, and also you can disposition here whenever the appointment happened. You can actually put in how the appointment went, because we encourage you doing that, because then the system will learn which leads you're doing good with and which aren't doing great. The system will automatically adjust so that you will always get better leads. We please encourage you to, when it comes to appointments, just always try to put in the dispositions afterwards so the system learns. Talking about appointments, you can obviously always come in here in the agent settings, and all the settings we've done in the beginning, you can adjust here, play around, add more zip codes, add more availability, change availability, add exclusions. We've done the calendar sync earlier, so we should be good there. You can also add your states all the time. You can change what your personal setting is doing. You can change your voicemail, all that here in agent settings. You obviously can also change the queues you're getting calls from. We also encourage you to play around there, see which calls are good for you. So you can always easily just join a new queue, which I said in the beginning, please always try to have 5 different call sources on so the volume is good. And you also have multiple call sources coming in. So you can actually find out which publishers, which advertisements are the ones you the most. And to go a little more advanced here, if you look that we originally claimed this campaign here, we can now go in here and we see the notes again. We see what the cost is, but we can now actually go in and do some more settings here to this campaign. You don't have to do this. This is just if you really want to take it to another level, you can play around there where you can say, I want to delay a certain queue. Let's say you have 5 queues and campaigns available right now to take calls from. One thing you don't want to do, you can do it. You can have every campaign sending you calls and it's getting random who sends the call first, basically who has the first call available. But if you want to control a little more on where do I want to get calls from, you can always delay certain campaigns. You could come in here and say the campaign 1 from Medicare Digital Inbounds, I want to delay this one by 120 seconds, which means you would be available for 120 seconds without a call coming in from this campaign, which gives you the option, or which gives every other queue and campaign you're in the option to deliver a call in that time frame. So the likelihood of the other ones delivering your call is way higher. And now your most favorite campaigns, you let them at 0 seconds. And the ones you would prefer the other ones, you just delay them a little, which gives you the optionality to control call flow really, really good. One thing you can also do is you can cap certain campaigns here by just going in and say, I don't want to have more than 10 billable calls from this specific campaign for a day. Or you could even say, I don't want to have more than 3 billable calls from that campaign for that day. But you can even take it a step further, where you can say, I don't want to have more than 3 or 10 billable calls from this specific campaign for the day. I actually want to have only 3, in this case, 10 billable calls from the specific campaign. But as long as my cost per acquisition, my cost per sale stays below $175, I want to continue getting calls from that specific campaign. Because if that's the case, you can obviously put in whatever cost per sale, cost per acquisition you feel comfortable with. But as long as you're comfortable and your threshold for this campaign stays below this for the day, the calls will continue to come in. Because if that happens, because if your CPA stays below here, you obviously want that campaign to continue sending you, because then you're in a really good spot. This is really advanced here. If you want to go into the details and you want to figure things out on your own, this is something you can do, which is really powerful. Obviously, you can always join another campaign and you have multiple options here. The only other thing I wanted to show you, those outbound campaigns here, you would add a campaign, add how you want to name them, do some settings, how you want to call them, how long you want to cool down the leads, and you would select the lead list, which would give you the optionality to then do a preview outbound dial on those leads, which will be way more helpful when the data lead marketplace launches in a few weeks, but we will keep you posted there. I'm thinking if there is anything else right now, but obviously if you have any questions, please always reach out, and we're looking forward you using the platform. We've put a ton of work into it. Really looking forward and wishing you all a really, really nice